I'm right behind you.
We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light.
My water is yours.
We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into the dark. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Barden. You are the prophet that reveals our true future.
I hear something. We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness. We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me.
I'm Lillian. I'm an alchemist. Someday, I'll be a great alchemist like my mom. Mommy is an alchemist. Her medicine
We
is
are
so
children
good,
of the
she
twilight,
became famous in
beings
Wayrest.
who are to be guided from the darkness into
My
the light,
daddy is very
and from the
strong.
light
He's
into
the best
darkness.
swordsman in Wayrest, but he hasn't been feeling well for a long time. Mommy says daddy is sick, so we're making a potion to cure him. We were traveling to find a cure for my daddy's sickness, but we
No
got the
harm
doors
shall
slammed in
come
our
to me,
faces
for I
everywhere as
live
soon as
under
they saw my
Azura's
daddy. But a nice
Her
old lady was
foresight
very
protects
kind
me,
to us.
her
She
insight
gave us this house,
sustains me.
and sometimes she brings me sweets. Well, she always wears pointy hats, and she brings us sweets and herbs. She shows Mommy how to make medicine, but I still don't understand. It looks very difficult.
We are children of the
I know
twilight,
about Stendar.
beings
I have his
who are to be
amulet.
guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness.
Oh, who are you? Oh, please leave.
Who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell.
I'm
You are the
preparing
prophet
medicine.
who
I make
reveals
my
our
living
true
with alchemy. From a Glenmoral witch, but don't think I liked being around her. I'm just desperate to solve a curse plaguing my husband.
No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's
Your
wisdom.
presence here can only
Her
mean...
foresight protects
Yes,
me,
of course,
her
I
insight
understand.
sustains me.
We will leave as soon as we can. Stendar be with you.
No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me.
페니르하
No harm shall come to me, for I I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light. We are children of the twilight.
Witches are a serious threat in Skyrim. Purge them out.
And from the light.
Is that so? So, you return without finishing your task. You have let yourself be deceived. I was clear about this. Go back and finish it. You'll only know whether they are witches or not when they're dead. Go, now, and kill them!
For I live under Azura's wisdom.
Not serious. You're the one who's not being serious. You're out of your mind. Go! Kill the witches. This is your duty. Wrong. Why now? Haven't you killed in cold blood before? It's no different now. Just do as I say, and kill them in the name of Stendar.
Who led her children away from
I see. You're adamant about this. Regrettable. Very regrettable. I don't like such brutality, but it seems I need to be clearer.
We are children of the twilight. Beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness. Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness. Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's
Time to dance the
Her
spears!
foresight protects me.
I'll cut you down!
Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness. We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness. We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me.
Death.
No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness. We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness.
According to the 36 lessons of Vivek, Moloch Ball and Vivek were intimate.
Still here. I'm right behind you.
No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me. Her insight sustains me.
You seem to be a vigilant Ascendar, but are you the only one here?
Azura, who led her children away from the disaster.
I'm here on behalf of the Steward of Windhelm to ask the Vigilance of Stendar for help. Prisoners in Windhelm keep disappearing from their cells. We want you to investigate this case for us. You will have to speak with the Steward if you want to know the details. Please treat this matter as confidential.
And from the light into darkness. No harm shall... No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me.
A few septims for my supper is all I ask.
We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness.
I'll be fine.
Master, you're far too old for this sort of journey. We don't know what's inside.
I can... just...
You see, you're not well.
We are children
Have a seat.
of the twilight,
I'll fetch you some time.
beings who are to be guided from the darkness
If there was
into
a
the
tonic
light,
that could help
and
me,
from the light into
I would have found it by now.
The faster you finish your business here, the better it will be for you, Wetlander.
Alchemy is simple. Unless, of course, you are simple. Then, I can't help you. Just a man's life work is all. I finally derived the location of the white file, but this busybody won't let me get it. You would do that? It's good to know there are some people out there who are willing to help an old man. It's buried with its maker, Mill, in a long-forsaken cave to the west of here. Mill was a crafty one, even in death. You would need the skills of a master alchemist to reach its resting place. Luckily for you, I've already made the mixture. Here, take it, please. Don't dally. I've wasted enough time arguing with my useless assistant here. A legendary bottle, forged in the days when Skyrim was just starting its turn to ice. A small container made of the magically infused snow that first fell on the throat of the world. It is said that the file will replenish whatever fluid is placed inside of it. For an alchemist like myself, it is the most pure expression of my art. To create from nothingness is poetry.
We are children of the twilight.
I've spent my entire life searching for it. It brought me all the way to these frozen reaches from the warm embrace of Somerset Isle. Entire years spent in libraries, seeking out tiny villages with local legends that contain but a whisper of a hint of the file. I even named my shop after it, hoping that it might attract anyone who had heard of it. And now it's within my grasp. But the eight, it seems, have chosen me for their amusement. For in my current condition,
No harm shall come to me, for I live
I'll never be able to lay my hands on it.
protects me, her insight.
Why are you still standing around here? Go get me the file! Fool! You need to leave.
No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me.
Spare a coin for a poor old woman.
Hold it there. Keep your distance.
Children of the twilight.
Another girl killed. This is Susanna, from Candlehearth Hall. Served me a drink just a few nights ago, but I can't say I knew her. Susanna's the third. It's always the same. Young girl, killed at night, body torn up. We are stretched thin as it is with the war. Nobody has the time to spend on this. Not pleasant, but it's the truth.
Reveals our true future.
If you want to help, ask some of these gawkers if they saw anything useful. I'm going to examine the body before the rats can get to it.
We are children of the twilight. Beings who
This
are
is a
guided
shame.
from the darkness into the light.
No, sorry. But I did notice that her coin purse was still intact, so whoever did this wasn't after gold. I'm going to keep preparing the body, if you'll excuse me. I ask only for a little
It's no
chat.
secret the Aretino boy is doing some ritual, trying to call the Dark Brotherhood. But who's going to stop him? Me? I'll have no part in that.
An orc follows.
Another one. Terrible.
We are children of the twilight.
Oh,
Beings
thank
who are
you.
to be guided from the
Divines
darkness
bless your kind heart.
from the light into darkness.
I
I heard a scream and came running, but she was already like this when I got here.
Hello there, Dragonborn.
We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light.
Always sad when someone has to die. Sorry, I thought I saw a fellow running away, but didn't get a good look at him.
Will you spare a few coins to help someone who's got nothing?
Heard about you and your honeyed words. Just like always, nobody saw anything useful. Bastards escaped again.
Who led her children away from the
Look, friend, if you think you can do better than the Legion of Guards, be my guest. You'll need to talk to the steward, though. We can't just let anyone go around claiming to be on official business. If he's willing, then we'll talk.
Hello there, Dragonborn.
I ain't asking
No
for much.
harm shall come to
Just
me,
a few
for I
seconds.
live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains.
He's a true Nord. He'll come around.
Don't be so sure of that. We've intercepted couriers from Solitude. The Empire's putting a
We
great
are
deal of
children
pressure
of the
on
twilight,
White Line.
And what would
beings
you
who are
have?
to be guided from the darkness
If he's
into
not
the
with
light.
us, he's against us.
He knows that. They all know that.
How long are you going to wait?
You think I need to send both brothers through the message?
If my message means
No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me.
The Stormcloaks are finding victory across the land. These are difficult times indeed, when men stalk their brethren like beasts. My men are stretched thin as it is. If you offer your aid, I gladly accept. The guards will be told to assist you as necessary. I'm happy to lend a hand as much as I can as well.
Still here. Yes?
Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future.
There's an Orc stronghold not far from here. We could visit.
No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me. Her insight sustains me.
then let them die with their false kings.
We've been soldiers along. Aye. We know the price of freedom. But people are still...
Out with it. Welcome here. I've been waiting for you. I heard about the attack on the temple. You have my sympathies, friend. I'm sorry, but I'm spread thin. I could use the help. Good. You got real fire in you. This is what's happened. I think we may have a problem in the dungeon. Lots of prisoners just disappear. Can't find a trace of them. Only the trail of blood And as if that wasn't enough, yesterday, my guards disappeared as well. Nobody saw anything useful. That's why I'm sending you. That's what I wanted to hear. I noticed a trail of blood in the underground dungeon. We should get started now. I'll take my leave then.
I fight for we few who did come home. Oh. To find our country full of strangers wearing familiar...
We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness.
It is my duty to protect you.
Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness. We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future.
The Eye of Talos was a fine ship once. Now it lies wrecked off an island just north of here.
My cousin's out fighting dragons, and what do I get? God duty.
Algrove won't give us a straight answer.
He's a true man. He'll come.
Now, don't be so
I'm waiting.
We've intercepted couriers from Solitude.
It's ancient. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know anything about those kinds of things. Sorry, can't help you.
Beings who are to be guided from the dark.
Now that I think on it, it was years ago. Lots of prisoners gone as well. I don't know really. Considering how the Great War ended, Commander of the Guards here in Windhelm was in control. Now I remember. Your kind were happy to lend a hand as well. Not now. At least not anymore. It might be over in the temple of yours.
Who are to be guided from the darkness into
Until
the light,
next time.
and from the light into darkness.
So we're ready to start this war in earnest then.
Soon.
The Imperials think we need their laws.
We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light.
For a dragon to attack Kynes Grove. Why? Why there? Is no place safe?
Comes.
All right then. I noticed a trail of blood leading away from here. Helgud's taken the body into the Hall of the Dead to prepare for burial. She's a little crazy, but if she knows anything, it's dead bodies.
Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me.
What is it? Dragons?
I was one of the best soldiers in the Stormcloak army until I took a sword to the chest.
We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness.
I'm right behind you.
This city feels old, watchful, hungry. Ha, don't listen to me. You sound like a fool.
No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me.
I'd be a lot warmer and a lot happier with a belly full of need. Frigga Shattershield's old place? It's been abandoned ever since she was killed. I think her mother, Tova, has the key. I'll take my leave then.
I've got your back.
No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me.
Come on in. Let me know if you need anything, or take a seat by the fire. Got some fresh baked bread and good cheese if you're after a bite to eat. Take a look. Sure thing. It's yours for a day. Did you see the candle above the fire upstairs? It was lit 163 years ago, back when this building was the home of a grand warrior named Wundhad. When word came that he'd fallen, his son Durot lit the candle in his honor. Nobody knows why it still burns.
Still here.
Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. We are children of the Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. Azura, who led children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. We are children of the twilight. Beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into dark.
solve these things some ways.
We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness.
Destroying these undead is a mercy.
We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness. Who led her children away from the desire of the body. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight children of the twilight, who are to be guided from the darkness into light, from the light into darkness. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Body fell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. Ow! protects me, her insight sustains me. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me.
Healing magic? An orc lets her wounds heal naturally.
Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Bali. Azura. Who led her children away from the disaster of Bali. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me. Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. We are children of the
They would
twilight.
kill you stone dead if you let
Beings who are to be guided from the darkness
seem a little
into the
pathetic
light, and from the light into dark. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. are the prophet that reveals our true future. Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. All will happen as it has been foretold.
Spare a coin for a roll.
Alchemy is simple. Unless, of course, you were simple. Then, I can't help you.
Come to me, for I live
This
under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight
it matches every description of the file that I've found in lore. But if it can't hold liquid, there's no way of knowing. How did you manage to damage it then? This is what I get for not retrieving it myself.
I don't care
Figures.
about politics.
I doubt you have sufficient knowledge to harm the file, even if you wanted to. Either way, this is the end of it. Now, if you'll excuse me,
her insight.
I'm not quite in the mood to entertain guests. I trust you can show yourself out. Here's for your trouble.
I've got your back.
We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness.
I want to
into
thank
the
you for your
light,
help.
and
I
from
know
the
my
light
master can be a bit
into
short
the
at
dark.
times. Here, you should have this. Even though the file is damaged, I still think your efforts deserve reward. Now, if you'll pardon me, I'm going to tend to Norelian. I can make his final days a bit less painful.
Into the light, and from the light into darkness.
I'm right behind you.
No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight.
Come on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out. Got some fresh baked bread and good cheese if you're after a bite to eat. Take a look. Are you joking? You just rented a room from me. Enjoy your stay, and don't break nothing.
No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me. Her insight sustains me. We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness.
I'd travel more, but who wants to deal with all the soldiers these days?
Fresh fruit and vegetables for sale.
Have you been learning your oars?
For I live under
I think I've got a handle on it, but orichalcum is confusing.
We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness.
I've been a bit out of sorts since our daughter was taken from us.
Children of the twilight.
I'm sorry. She was very dear to me, and it's rather painful to think about. I'd rather not talk about my daughter, if you'll excuse me.
We are children of
Well,
the twilight.
all right.
Beings who
What
are
exactly
to be
do you need to
guided
know?
from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness.
Yerim? Well, I'm not sure what you think you'll find there, but you're welcome to have a look.
Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future.
I'd appreciate it if you don't bother my wife, Tova. She's still in mourning. Our little girl died recently. I've been shouldering my days with strong mead, but nothing gives my Tova peace. I've been looking for an amulet of RK to remind my wife that our child is with the gods now, but I can't find one. Thank you. I hope RK grants my wife some comfort. Thank you. Here, I always pay my debts. Please forgive my mood. I'm still coming to terms with my daughter's death.
You need to leave.
We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me.
Nice place.
Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me. Her insight sustains me.
Still here.
We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness.
Dovahkiin, you've returned, and I wish to join you in your adventures. I love fighting, and pain, and death, and I've heard such good things about you. Will you please be my new master now? I paid for a dungeon to be installed below your house, master. I will wait there whenever you don't need me. Come and beat me soon, please. What do you wish of me, master? Whatever you want, my master. Goodbye, my master. You're not gonna make me wear clothes again, are you? Well, when I heard about you, I realized he wasn't giving me enough, so I had to kill him. I killed him, cutting him up slowly. I even licked some of his wounds. It was glorious. Murder. Killing, pain, oh, the glorious pain. Oh, just talking about it. Will you please beat me, master? I need it now. Please, it's not the same when I do it myself. Please beat me, anytime you wish, master. I can't wait, I'm so excited, I'm dripping. Goodbye, my master.
We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight.
Healing is as easy as that. Any fool can do both.
No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight.
I trust you're not planning any trouble. What can I do for you, friend? Welcome to the House of Curiosities. I offer a brief tour for a few coins, or you can simply browse at your leisure.
You are the prophet that reveals our truth.
Indeed, I did. For a few septims, I'll tell you about some of the most interesting curiosities in my collection. Very well. If you change your mind, you can usually find me here. In the meantime, feel free to look around. My sister and I inherited a modest sum of money. We decided to travel and seek out whatever adventures we could find. As we journeyed across Tamriel, we encountered tales of exotic and wondrous artifacts. We decided to collect as many as we could. My sister passed away some years ago, so I settled down here and opened the House of Curiosities. I think she would be happy to know that our collection has brought smiles to faces both young and old.
This city
Let me
feels
see.
old, watchful, hungry.
This is the wheelstone. It's an heirloom symbol of the power of Windhelm. Traditionally, it's carried by the court maid. I would be interested in acquiring it, if you're willing to part with it, that is. For a piece like that, I could pay 500 gold. Wunferth? Bah! It's purely ceremonial, and he has no use for it. Besides, I wouldn't want to be the one to give it to him. Gives me the creeps. They say he dabbles in necromancy.
Reveals our true future.
Wonderful. This will be a splendid addition to my private collection.
Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. All will happen as it has been foretold.
Hi, lady. Would you like to buy some flowers? Please?
You are the prophet that reveals our true future.
Not much, but I hope you like them. They're dead. My mama died when I was little. I don't remember her very well. My father was a Stormcloak soldier.
No harm
One
shall
day he
come
left
to me,
and
for
didn't
I
come
live
back.
under Azura's
I'm all
wisdom.
alone.
Her foresight protects
I
me,
try to sell
her
flowers so I can buy
insight
food.
sustains.
It's not much, but what else can I do? Really? Do you have a place I could live? Oh, wow. Are you sure?
No
You really
harm
wouldn't
shall come
mind?
to me, for I live under Azura's
Yay!
wisdom.
Thanks,
Her
Mama.
foresight
I
protects
promise I'll
me,
be the best
her
daughter
insight
ever.
sustains me.
My
I'm right
blood's
behind
calm.
you.
I prefer it boiling.
You're a war hero.
Hello there, Sophie.
Ulfric will listen to you. It's not that simple. Ulfric wants Skyrim for the Nords. He doesn't trust what he calls outsiders.
You've seen how we live. Cramped alleys, run-down buildings, few guard patrols.
Azura,
Even the name Grey
who led her
Quarter is an
children
insult.
away from the disaster
I'll
of
speak to
Vardenfell.
Ulfric soon.
You
But I make
are the
no
prophet
promises that I can
reveals
change
our
his
true
mind.
future.
That's all I ask. With your help, we have a chance to make a better life for ourselves here. For that, I thank you.
I've got your back.
We are children of the twilight. Beings who are to be guided.
Come on in. Let me know if you need anything, or take a seat by the fire and I'll send someone over.
You have a grim look. All will happen as it has been foretold.
Yes? I was trying to get to Morrowind. The Dunmer don't care much for the Thalmor, and I figured I'd be safe there. As safe as anywhere, that is. But there's a Khajiit hanging around the main gate. I didn't like the way he was looking at me. I'm sure he's Thalmor, just waiting for me to leave so he can follow me and kill me in a lonely place.
Wait, maybe I'm thinking about...
He'd be saving my life, again. I know I probably seemed ungrateful. I've just been so scared, expecting a knife at my throat any minute.
Azura, who led her children away from the
Be on the lookout. The butcher could be around any corner. I've been following him for months now. Well, not actually following. Trying to find him. The guards won't help. The people won't help. I'm the only one who thinks he can be caught.
Protects me, her insight.
They say they're too busy with the war. I say, what good is winning a war if we're still terrorized by one of our own? Oh, they care, all right. Just none of them thinks to do anything about it. They say I'm just snooping around bothering people. But I'm trying to save lives. Huh? What's it say? Woundfirth. There have been rumors swirling about him for years. As long as I can remember. But he's a dangerous man. That's why they call him the Unliving. I wouldn't approach him directly. This information needs to go straight to the steward. He'll listen to you.
He's a true Nord. He'll come around. Don't be so sure of that. We've intercepted couriers.
Can we do something? Why aren't we killing stuff?
Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future.
Whatever you've heard I can do is probably true. I beg your pardon? Necromancy. I am a member of the College of Winterhold. In good standing. They haven't allowed necromancy for hundreds of years.
You are the prophet that reveals our true future.
My what now? I've never kept a journal, I can assure you. What exactly did this amulet look like? I know it well. Or at least I've heard of it. I would wager that carving once depicted a skull. That is the necromancer's amulet of legend. It appears you were at least half right. There is necromancy at the heart of this. I've been noting a pattern to when the killings happen. Now that we know they're tied into some sort of necromantic ritual, I think I know when the next might occur. Let's see. From Elordis of Last Seed until Amidus of Hearthfire, it will happen soon. Very soon. Keep watch in the Stone Quarter tomorrow night. That's almost certainly where the killer will strike next.
Beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness. We are children of twilight. Beings who are to be guided.
Then let them die with their false kings.
Are you okay?
Foresight protects me, her insight.
Move on, friend. I have nothing to sell today.
No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Protects me, her insight.
Come on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
Need something? Nord. That's great news. I better go, right now, before they find me again. This is my chance. Thank you. Here. I stole a lot from the Thalmor over the years. You may as well have some of it.
We are children of the Twilight. Azura is watching over you. She has seen this before it ever happened.
Come on in. We've got warm food, warm drinks, and got some fresh baked bread and good cheese if you're after a bite to eat. Drink for the thirsty, food for the hungry. Enjoy your stay, and don't break nothing.
No harm shall come to you, for I live under...
Mind you don't get fresh with Susanna. She plays the flirt, but it's just to get good tips. Sure thing. It's yours for a day.
We should find a woman and tie her up and cut her. Oh, I love hearing their screams.
No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me.
I'm right behind you.
We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into power. We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into power. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me.
Guard might get nervous. A woman approaches with her weapon drawn.
Azura, who led her children away from the disaster far before. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. We are children of the twilight, Beings who are to be guided.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Light into dark.
Have a good day.
Still here.
Why are you staring at me?
No harm shall come, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me. Her
I
insight.
made my fortune as a sea captain, but now I'm retired.
We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness.
Let me do something. Why aren't we killing stuff?
No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. Reveals our true future. Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. We are children of the twilight, beings who are to be guided from the dark charity. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of
Fair winds and calm seas.
You are
That's
the
an
prophet
sailor's
that
part.
reveals our true future.
The townsfolk call me captain, because I used to be a sailor. Well, nothing. At least not anymore. Folk just call me that because of what I used to do. I was a sailor for many a year. I made my coin as a trader, and in time, I bought my own ship. When I retired here in Windhelm, most folk already knew me as Captain Lonelygale, and the name just stuck. There's an author named Adonato staying at the inn. He's published a few works of historical fiction. The clans Shattershield and Cruel Sea see most of the gold that passes through the city. And obviously you have Ulfric, the Jarl and future High King. Oh, and that busybody Viola Giordano. She's got her nose in everyone's business, which I guess is one way of being prominent.
Her foresight protects me.
Terrible shame that. Seems we have a killer on the loose here in Wildhelm. He's claimed 3 victims that I know of, though maybe there's more that haven't been found yet. All lovely ladies too. Let's hope the gods find that demon soon and introduce him to the headman's axe. It was a pleasure to talk to someone so interesting.
We are children of the twilight.
Farm work is hard
beings
work.
who are to be
It's good to
guided
relax
from the
when I can.
darkness into the light.
Still have to listen to my
From the
brothers
light.
harping about injustices.
No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me.
How can you stand this weather?
Algrove won't give us a straight answer. He's a true Nord. He'll come around. Don't be so sure of that. We've intercepted couriers from Solomon.
No harm shall come to
The
me.
Empire.
The Twilight has foreseen all of this. Everything will be revealed in time.
So you can cast a few spells. Am I supposed to be dressed?
The Stormcloaks are finding victory across the land.
We are children of the Twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness.
Ismir's beard. The man was always a bit odd, but I wouldn't have expected. You've done the city a mighty service, friend. I believe you'll find the guards to be a bit more cordial with you in the future. Travel safely. It's dangerous out there.
Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future. Azura, who led her children away from the disaster of Vardenfell. You are the prophet that reveals our true future.
I need to send more gruff or stronger. If by message you mean
yes?
shoving a sword through his gullet. Take it. City are leaving him in his
No harm shall come to me, for I live the Twilight. We are children of the Twilight, beings who are to be guided from the darkness into the light, and from the light into darkness. No harm shall come to me, for
Please don't take out any books if you don't have to. The library has limits. 20 years ago was 180. If there's anything, it should be on the shelves in the middle.
No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. No harm shall come to me, for I live under Azura's wisdom. We are children of the...
Come on in. We've got warm food, warm drinks, and warm beds. Got some fresh baked bread and good cheese if you're after a bite to eat. Let's sate that appetite, hmm? Are you joking? You just rented a room from me.
No harm shall come to
Enjoy your
me,
stay,
for I
and
live
don't
under
break
Azura's
nothing.
wisdom. Her foresight protects me, her insight sustains me. Azura,
This is an ode
who
to
led her
Skyrim's
children away. From the
sons and
disaster of
daughters,
Vardenfell.
the Stormcloaks.
You are the prophet that reveals our
We'll
true
drive out the
future.
empire from this land that we own. With our blood and our steel, we will take back our home. All
오늘 SE는 여기까지. 방종호 레이드는 외국인 스트리머 블랙케이트 빌.
Thanks for watching. Bye and see my next stream. Thank you so much, my friends and viewers. End of my stream. And after I will raid Black Caddyville.
구독하요.
Bye and see ya soon.